All right, good morning, afternoon. Dang it. Happy Thursday. So yesterday I did not record the lesson because we had a little celebration. I don't want my video, my dancing video with my kitty to go beyond you guys. And I also gave the problems for the final. If you weren't here, you're gonna want to find out from somebody what went down yesterday. So today what I want to do is I want to be able to work in the Math Wizard teams on the problems and then basically take any questions you have on these problems. Now, does anybody, so here's the deal. I'm only going to meet with you one more time on Monday, okay? So you want to make sure you give me all your questions today or Monday. And you want to make sure that you are working problems today, tonight, tomorrow night, Saturday, Sunday, and you want to work the problems again. You want to keep working them because you want to turn in your final 5 minutes before it's due. If you do not have a timer or you don't have your phone time and you don't have the alarm set and you turn in this final late, you will get a 0 because there's no way I'll be able to recover what you did. Okay, so we've been practicing this all year. So you have to turn in this on time. And I would try to turn it in 5 minutes before, so you don't even come close to the time limit. And I would have a timer or an alarm set on my phone to make sure that I turn in my final on time. Okay, so you don't want to be working problems close to the time limit. So how you avoid that is you feel very comfortable with the problems. Well, how do you feel comfortable with the problems? By practicing them over and over again. So that's how you gain confidence, is by working the problems over and over again. Okay, I had some announcements for pre-cal, but I don't really have any announcements to you except for don't forget to get your volume 2 of your book. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, at the Rancho bus lot from parking lot from 8 to 11. Make sure you get the volume 2 Algebra 2 book. All right, anybody want to ask me about anything? Any questions? Okay, anybody want me to work any problems? All right, so today class is over at 2:10. So we're going to meet at 1. You're going to come back to WebEx at 1:55. So I can address questions you might have that I want to talk to the whole class about. So that's 15 minutes before class ends. You're going to come back to WebEx. Okay, now in your teams, you're going to obviously be working problems in the evaluate. If it were me, I'd be working both. I would start on the problems on the evaluate, then I would work the problems in your book that correspond to these numbers. So that's what I would be doing. But right now in the teams, you want to work the evaluate problems. Okay, any questions? All right, well, I'll be taking attendance and then I'll be in and out. But just let me know if you need anything, okay? And I'll see you back here in WebEx at 1:55. All right? All right, guys, I'll see you. Did we make it back? All right, I want to address a couple things. And I don't know what module, does anybody know what module this is? Is this module 2? This is absolute value.
I think it was module 2.
Okay. So that's been a long time ago. So I just want to give you a refresh on this. It's always good when I visit the teams because it shows me what's going on and what I need to either remind you of or reteach or whatever. Remember that absolute value, to get rid of the bars, you have to change the equal to and or, and you have to write a compound sentence. And what that means is 2 equations. So the first equation to get rid of the bars is just what you see. 1/3 x plus 1 equals 3. The second one is the negative case. Right? Remember that? So those bars mean this. Positive case, negative case. So now you solve for x. And initially, the rule is you have to isolate the absolute value. Well, it's already isolated. It's already by itself. All right, so you subtract 1. And to solve for x, you multiply both sides by 3. So one of the solutions that makes this true is 6. 1/3 of 6 is 2 plus 1 is 3. Absolute value, it equals 3. That's one of the solutions. And you're going to be graphing this on a number line because there is no y up here. This is one dimension. We'll graph it on the number line in a minute. Now, this is what I really want to talk about. Don't distribute a negative if you don't have to. This is an equation. So multiply by a -1 and just get rid of it. But don't forget to multiply the right side by a -1. So that's nicer to work with than that. Right? So now you just solve for x. So when you subtract 1 this time, you get -4. And now you're going to multiply both sides by 3 again. X equals -12. So there's two solutions, 6 and -12, that make this true. So when you graph this on the number line, let's just say -12 is over here, -11, -10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wherever it is, let's say it's that. Those would be your two solutions on the number line at -12 and 6. So if you don't remember this, you got to look at your notes and look at the problems, look at your assignments so that you know how to do this. Can I erase this?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to talk about a test taking tip. Do you guys realize that for my exam, if you were with me with my exams, you have to show all your work. But when you take a multiple choice test like this, and when I tell you I'm not going to be looking at your scratch paper, there's certain things you could do that are just good test taking strategies. Okay, so I need somebody from the group that had that horizontal stretch by 9/8. Can you read that equation to me, please? You guys, the group, read it to me.
It's absolute value, and then it's 8 divided by 9, and it's parentheses, x minus 3, parentheses, absolute, and then -2.
Okay. So if you were going to do this with me, you would do you would say, okay, absolute value, the parent points are left one, up one, 0, 0, right one, up one, like the parabola. And then this is in the second form. So don't go right 3 first. You're going to do a horizontal stretch by 9/8. So horizontal stretch by 9/8, horizontal stretch by 9/8, horizontal stretch by 9/8. And it's like, okay, I'm going to stop right there. Okay, I don't like this problem. Especially now I have to go write 3. And so I'm going to have to add fractions. I don't want to do this. I don't want to suck up a lot of time on my exam. So since you're not taking a test with me, since you're not having to show the transformational points, can't you just put this on the calculator? Because in this problem that they were doing, there were 2 answers that looked almost exactly the same. You couldn't say, oh, well, I'm going to eliminate A, B, and C, and it's D because it's so easy. There were 2 answers that looked alike. So first of all, what you need to do, this window, the answer choices went from -12 to 12, -12 to 12. You have to set up your window like that. And they were counting by 4s. So in the window, you have to go X min is -12, X max is 12, and the scale is counting by 4s. The Y min is -12, the Y max is 12, counting by 4s. And then in the equation editor, what is it? What's the equation? Let me get my calculator. Y sub 1 where do you find the absolute value? Under math, and num. So math and num, you get ABS. So it'll be ABS parentheses 8 divided by 9, parenthesis, X minus 3, parenthesis to close the absolute value. So these are those parentheses, and these are those parentheses, absolute value minus 2. So after you put it in the equation editor, you hit graph and then pick your choice A, B, C, or D. Now the question is this cheating? Not when you're taking a multiple choice test. If you were with me in the classroom, you're not going to have a multiple choice test. You have to show the work. But there are test taking strategies. If you're taking a multiple choice test and this point transformation wasn't easy to do, don't do it. Put it on the calculator. You guys understand? Yes, no, are you guys there?
Yeah, we understand.
Does anybody want to ask me a question about it? Okay, now so that's all I want to say. Anybody want to ask me any questions about anything?
I have a question. Since you're not going to be checking our scratch paper, is there still going to be some sort of turn in where we do have to show whatever we did do?
You have to turn it in.
Like, no.
You have to turn it in because I know which problems you have to show work on. Okay, I know which problems you don't have to show work on, and I know which problems you do. So you have to turn in your scratch paper. You always turn in your scratch paper. It's the only way that I can tell that you actually are doing it and that you know what you're doing. So you have to turn in the scratch paper, and I do know which problems you have to show work on. So let's say you turn in a bunch of scratch paper, you turn your scratch paper and you have this answer, this answer, this answer, this answer, this, and 7 of those you had to show work. You're not going to get credit for not sure, because how'd you get the work? You use it, you either use the program on your phone that does the work for you, or you called somebody and they told you what to write, or there's no way of me telling. So I know which problems you have to show work on.
Is it going to be turned in the other exams just in Google Classroom?
You're going to turn it in the same exact way that we've been doing since August.
Okay, thank you.
So it needs to look like an assignment. It needs to be an assignment format. On the problems where you have to show work, you have to show the original problem, work vertically and circle your answer. On problems where you don't have to show work, I know what those are. So it's just the same as what we've always done, except you don't have to show work on the problems that you can just look at and know the answer for. Okay, other questions?
Oh no, I hope I don't fall.
Denise, can you mute yourself?
Oops.
Do you guys want to ask me any questions about anything? Well, as you're doing problems, if I were you, I would write them down so you can ask me on Monday or ask your team members. Like I said, you should be working problems today, tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday. I mean, that's how you study. You don't just wait till the night before to study that. That's not how you study. So you got to keep, like I said, you got to keep working these problems over and over again until you're able to work them very efficiently, quickly, and correctly more than anything else. Okay, last call. Any questions? Okay, well, have a good weekend, and I will see you on Monday, right?
Bye,
Bye,
Miss
guys.
Bird.
Bye, guys. Have a good weekend.